Hi, in this video I will show you how to manage a Moodle course page so that some sections can be viewed and seen and accessed by all the participants, while some of the sections can be restricted to a selected participants only. You will notice that I have different courses on my dashboard, and in this video I will show you one course which is participated by many groups. I will use Web Development 2 as a sample course for this demonstration. I will show you that this Web Development 2 course has many groups. So I will select groups to filter, and you will notice that this course has 6 groups or 6 sections. So I will go back to the main page of the course, and as a teacher, you are able to see all the sections and all the parts of the Moodle course page. So I can see the cover page, the vision, mission, and values, and the different section, lecturers, information, surveys, as well as the common materials. Depending on the department, the course may use a common course material provided by the course coordinator. So just like in this course, the course coordinator can upload all the common course materials that must be available to all the participants or to all the students that belong to different groups. As a teacher, you are able to see all the different sections of the Moodle course page. So here, aside from the common course materials until chapter 8, we will see that there is a section for Dr. Arun, which is available only for section 2 and section 5. You will notice that there are restriction notifications, example, not available unless you belong to section 2. Okay, so another example is this particular section of class programs will not be available unless a particular student belongs to section 5 or group number 5. Aside from that section, there are other sections prepared by other teachers who are sharing this course. Example, Mr. Vinesh created another section which is restricted to be viewed by only the students that belong to section 4. Another section created by another teacher, Mr. Vijaya, which is available only for group 3 or section 3. And finally, we have another section added by Ms. Zuena, which is restricted so that it will be available only to the groups that belong to her, which are section 1 and section 6. So please take note that if a particular section is restricted to a particular group or section, that section in the Moodle course page can be viewed and can be accessed by that group only. Okay, so to show you how the student will see that, you can click here on your name, okay, and then click switch role to. We can switch the role to a student. Right now, I am enrolled in this course only as a teacher, but I am not enrolled as a student. So if I select to switch role to a student, when I view the course page, earlier I can see all the sections as a teacher, even the sections that are managed by other teachers. So in this case right now, you will notice here on this part that my role is a student. Okay, so when I go to the different parts or section of the course, I will be able to see as a student all the common course materials. If there are common activities, it will also be available to all the students in different groups. Example, even the sample midterm exams, example final exams will be available to all the students. Some of the class activities may also be available to all the students that belong to different groups. But see here, after the chapter 8, class activities, as a student, I will not be able to see the different sections that belong either to section 1 and 3, section 6, section 3, section 2, and 5. Okay, so I will show you, I will go back or switch my role as a teacher. So now I return to my normal role as a teacher, and from the participants, I will try to find my name. Okay. So right now I am enrolled as a teacher and I have no group. That means I do not belong to any section. So in this case, I will try to add myself as a student or as a teacher that belongs to section 3. And I will save. Okay. So if I go back to the main part of the course, again, as a teacher, I will be able to see all the different sections of the course. Okay? So again, it will include all the different sections that are restricted for the different group of students. So same thing as I have shown earlier, now that I belong to section 3 or group number 3, I will now switch my role again to a student. If you remember earlier, after I switched my role to a student, I was not able to see any section apart from the common course materials. But this time, as a student that belongs to section 3, if I scroll down on the Moodle course page, I will now be able to see after the common class activities, okay? I will now be able to see, and after chapter 8, I will now be able to see the section of my teacher, which is Mr. Vijaya, and it is section 3. Okay, please remember that I am showing the role of a student that belongs to section 3. So in this case, as a student of section 3, apart from the common course materials and common course activities that can be accessed by all the students, I will be able to access activities which includes assignment, which includes quizzes or other activities that are only restricted to section 3. Okay, as a student that belongs to section 3, I will not be able to see any activity or quizzes or assignment that belongs to other section. So, by showing this to all of you, it means that a Moodle course page can be managed so that different sections can be made available only to selected groups of students. Okay, so let me return to my normal role, which is a teacher. Okay, so that I will show you how to restrict a particular section of a Moodle course page so that it can be accessed by only a particular group or section of students. Okay, so let's go to the bottom of the page. And let us see the section 3 managed by Mr. Vijaya. Let's try to find it. Okay, so it's a bit long, and we'll try to find section 3. Okay, so this is the section that belongs to Mr. Vijaya for section or group 3. Make sure that as a teacher, you are in the edit mode. So I will click edit mode, and when we click the edit mode, so I have to go back again. You will notice that after clicking the edit mode, all the menus to set up the course page will become available. So let us go back to that section. Here there's another menu on the left side so that it will be faster for us to find the section that we are looking for. Okay, so from the left side menu, let us try to find the group for Mr. Vijaya, which is section 3. So I will click on that, and automatically it will be displayed on the main page of the course. Okay, so here you can restrict access to a particular section of the page by clicking this menu option and then click Edit Settings. In the Edit Settings, it is very important to find the option which is called Restrict Access. Okay? From this option, you have many different choices on how to restrict your students. So, one of the restrictions that are available is you can restrict a particular section through the different groups. Okay, so Mr. Vijaya has already set this up so that this section must be restricted or must be seen and must be accessible only to section 3. Here, as a teacher, you can select what are the groups that can see or can access this section. So he selected section 3, which is his section. If you are managing or teaching more than one section, you also have the option to make one section available to more than 2 groups of students. When I say section, it means a part. A section is a part of the Moodle course page. Okay, so from this moment onward, I will call the section as a part of a Moodle course page, and a group is actually a group or section of the students. Okay, so here I will select the group number 3. If you are teaching more than one group of students, you may decide that one section can be accessed or can be restricted to be viewed by more than one group. But also you have another option to create one section for each group. So it will be up to the teacher to decide how they will set up their Moodle course page. Okay, so say for example, if this teacher is teaching more than one group, you can click Add Restriction, and as I have mentioned earlier, you can use different choices to restrict access to a particular section of the Moodle course page. You can select a group, which is the fastest and the easiest way to restrict access to a particular group of students. If you want to restrict a particular section of the Moodle course page to individual persons, then you can use user profile. Because in the user profile, you can write the email address of each student or the username of each student. But as I have said, it is better to use the group if you want to restrict access to a particular group of students. So make sure that if you are teaching more than one group and you want to make one section available to more than one group, that here you select must. Okay, student must match any of the restrictions or the conditions. So these two are the conditions. Here you have to make sure that if you have more than one group, here it is or, because if this is and, okay, if you change this to all, no one will be able to access the section. Why? Because in IT, if there are more than one condition like this, okay, example, I will put here, another group is section 1. If you match it to all the groups and the condition here is set to and, that means no student belongs to both section or group 3 and group 1 at the same time. So in that case, if this is the restriction that you have set up, no student will be able to access the section. Okay? So please make sure that if you want a particular section of the Moodle course page to be accessed by more than one group, you have to select here any. Okay? And then the condition will be changed to group 3 or group 1. In this case, you are telling Moodle that you want this particular section to be accessed either by students that belong to group 1 or students that belong to group 3. Okay, so if you are finished with setting up the conditions for the restriction of the section, you can already save the changes. Okay, so in this case, I can also delete, or you may also delete a particular condition if you feel that you don't need it. Okay, so since this section belongs to only section 3, I deleted the group that I added. Okay, and then please do not forget to save any changes that you make. So in that case, this particular section is only restricted to be accessed by students that belong to group number 3. Okay, so also let me show you a particular example wherein the section is restricted to be accessed by two groups, section 1 and section 6. So let me click on it, and we will be able to see the settings for this section of the Moodle course page. Again, we have to click this menu option and click Edit Settings. Okay, we have to go to the Restrict Access options, and as I have explained earlier, you will notice that there are two conditions so that students, more than one group of students, can access this section of the Moodle course page. It can be accessed by students that belong to group 1 as well as students that belong to group number 6. Okay, so aside from that, inside the section itself, you can add different activities like quiz or assignments, and you can further restrict access to the activities to one section only or one group only. Okay, say for example, in this section of the page, which is accessible only to section or group 1 and 6, there is one quiz that can be seen by only the group number 1. And there is a lab activity that can be accessed by both sections because there is no further restriction here. What does it mean? It means that if you go to an activity, example a quiz, you can always edit the settings and find the option to restrict access to that activity. Okay, so this activity, which is a quiz, is only it is set up so that it is only accessible or it is restricted only for group number 1. Okay, so as an additional um, as an additional information, I would like to suggest that whenever you use a restriction, so that other students will of different groups will not be able to see that link, even though it is not accessible to them, it is better uh, to click this icon so that it will not be seen by other students that does not belong to the group number 1. Okay, let me show you the difference. Okay, so this is section 1 and 6. I will now again switch my role. I will go to participants. Okay, sorry. Let me go back to the main course page. Okay. And I will now change my section to group 1. Okay. So here, I will change to group 1. Okay. And then I will switch my role again to a student. Okay. So if I am a student, now I will be able to see again all the common course materials, okay? But here on the side menu, we will be able to see what are the available sections for me as a student from group number 1, okay? So here, all the common course materials are shown, as well as one section which is for section or group 1 and group 6. Okay? So because I changed my group to group 1 instead of group 3. So right now, let me access the section for the group. Where is that? Okay, click this. And as a student, I will still not be able to see and access the other parts of the section because a teacher has set it up to have further restrictions per activity. Okay, so example, this quiz number 1 can be seen, but there is another quiz number 1 for section 6, and there is lab activity that are available for both sections. There is also a folder of programming files or documents that can be used for activities that are available for both groups 1 and group 6. But see this one, this is for section 6. But this time, this is already closed. The other one is, sorry, I have to go back to that part again. You can still further set up each activity so that the students will not be able to see an activity that is not intended for them. Okay? Because sometimes there will be two quiz one. One is for group number 1, one is for group number 6. Both students that belong to groups 1 and 6 can see the link, although if they belong to another group, they will not be able to click it or they will not be able to access it. But it will be a good option and a good practice if the link is not shown to the student. So I will show you that example. So I will change my role again back to my normal role, which is the teacher. And I will make sure that I am in the edit mode. Okay. In this quiz 1 activity, I will set it up to improve the restriction. So click on the menu option, click edit settings, find the restrict access option, okay? And here, you notice that it is intended only for students that belong to group 1, okay? Make sure that you click the eye icon so that it will be hidden to the other section, which is group number 6, okay? And then save and return to course. Okay, there is another quiz. This time it is for group number 6. The first quiz 1 is for group 1. Okay, so in that case, I will go to this settings and then find the restrict access, add a restriction. Okay, this time this will be for group 6, and make sure that the eye icon is also selected to hide it. Okay, if the eye icon looks like this, it means show it to the students. If we click it and there is a bar on top of the eye icon, that means it is hidden to the other group that does not belong to group number 6. So I will now save and return to course. Okay? After making the changes or after setting up the activities to further restrict access to the different groups, I will now go back to switch role to the student. Okay? So previously, see now the difference. because I belong to group 1, I will see only one quiz 1 that is intended only for my group, which is group 1. Okay, this time I will not be able to see the quiz 1 that is intended for group 6. Okay, so what does it mean? It means that as a teacher, you can restrict access to a section or a part of the Moodle course page, and inside that section or part of the Moodle course page, you can further set up the activities such as quizzes, assignment, to make restrictions to different groups that you handle. Okay, so that is all about setting up a Moodle course page so that you can restrict access to the different members or participants of your course. Thank you. I hope that this will help you in managing your Moodle course page.